Hello and welcome to the Her Sports Show. Joining me today is the Irish track athlete Kate Doherty. Let's get into it.
Kate, we are really looking forward to chatting to you. You are a two-time national indoor champion and a world relays silver medalist. And Kate, you have also been announced that you are an ambassador for the DSD Games, which is the first ever games to take place at the new DSD multi-sport campus in Dublin on Sunday, the 18th of June. But before digging more into that, we just start off with you just telling me a bit more about yourself? Where did you grow up? How was your childhood? And how were you introduced to athletics?
It's kind of a weird one. So athletics was actually the very last sport I joined. So I did everything else like through school because I went to Mount Anvil. Like we had to do a sport in secondary school. So I did hockey. And then around like in the summer, then we started doing athletics on like the Astro pitches, did East Leinsters in first year. Didn't really make a difference. I was always fast anyway, so it was just a bit of fun. And then second year East and Leinsters, I got through into the Leinsters, and then Eddie McDonough from DSD saw me and was talking to my mum, and he got me to join DSD. So that's kind of where my athletics started, and then I've just stuck with it ever since, and kind of stopped my other sports a little bit. So I still do other sports in my free time on my off season. So like I picked up paddle last year, so that's a new one, but that's just nice and fun. Like no pressure versus athletics is very much like for me it's pressure because I put it on myself. So
okay. So if you had to name all the sports that you've played before, what would they be?
So there's hockey, basketball, sailing, golf, tennis, karate. I think that's it. Yeah.
Wow. You've tried a lot of them. Yeah. And at what age were you when you started to actually get involved in athletics?
So I was kind of like training up through college and stuff, and then I just took athletics more seriously when I was in third year of college. So that's kind of when my training, like I upped my training and stuff, because before I was only training maybe like twice a week, just because I could get away with that. So, but I was struggling to break like 15 seconds for hurdles. And then in third year, after I started doing gym and like training more often, I ended up dropping my time to like a 13.7. So it was kind of a big jump and kind of pushed me into doing it a lot. And because I had like an off books year in the following year, because I had to unfortunately repeat a electrical module because I did biomedical engineering and electrical was not my strong suit. So I just took the year to train full time and kind of it's stuck like that now. So I'm currently going back to the States in whenever my visa gets sorted, and then we'll be training full time officially without like having to be like it's now my job, which is really nice, which I really enjoy.
Okay, that's lovely. And do you remember what was the first competition that you were chosen to represent your country?
Well, if we count university competitions where it's just like Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, I think I feel like that was second or third year college. I think. I can't remember. No, I think it was third year college. Yeah, we went to Scotland. But then for the Irish team it was when I was under 23. So I did the under 23 European Championships in Sweden in 2019. Okay. Feels so long ago now.
Yeah, but everything pre-COVID seems like
I know it seems like a mile away. I'm like, oh, I did that before COVID, right?
Yeah. And do you remember how you felt when you made that achievement that you were selected to go to that competition?
So it was kind of a year before that I actually ran the standard for it. So I already knew like going into the season that I'd probably be going anyway, just once I show form and like do another standard, which I did in my first race in varsity. So it was kind of nice going through the season knowing that I was already going to be selected, which is, well, not already going to be selected, but like as in it was my aim for the season. So like even running a B standard at the beginning of the season, like April, I knew that I'd be able to keep running a B standard and get the second one to definitely qualify.
And would you say that maybe it's been for a couple of years or even recently, would you say that there is another Irish athlete who you really admire, or someone who you look up to?
So I was really late on watching athletics just because my parents never really watched it or anything, so I was late to that. But I always looked up to Derval, but that's because she's the other our best ever 100-meter hurdler, and just really looked up to that just because like that's where I want to be in the future. So, and then currently Sarah Lavin is going very well, and it's really nice to see her do this well. There's so many athletes now, to be honest. So like all the 800 girls are amazing. Like even talking to one of them, like I want to say like a year ago, just like all they had to do to get to the Olympics and like how the ranking points work was so complicated for them. And it was like, it's just amazing to see that, like how competitive it's become in Ireland, which is great, instead of like, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And if you think also, so when you got involved more seriously in athletics, I assume you started off sprinting and then from there went into hurdles. How did that happen? I know for me personally, hurdles was something I never wanted to participate in that event. I just thought it was very daunting. So yeah, how did that come about?
To be honest, I started with hurdles and then sprinted.
Okay, wow.
Okay, I for like sports days in school, I was always fast for that. But like the minute we started athletics in first year school, over the hurdles, that was it. I was done.
Wow.
That was my event.
That's awesome.
It's kind of weird thinking that I went straight to hurdles and didn't like start with the cross country, then sprinting and then hurdles. No, straight to hurdles. Never did cross country. I'll never do long stuff in my life. Can't do that.
So it was always meant to be that you
Yeah.
would be a hurdler. And then again, just in terms of the distance, so you do 60 meters and 100, or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's 6-meter indoors and then it's 100 meters outdoors.
Okay, cool. And then in terms of what you chose to study at Trinity College, what made you decide to study what you studied?
So I did engineering because I was quite strong at maths and just sciences in general, but I knew I didn't want medicine. So I thought engineering would be a good route for me. And in the end, then I did biomedical engineering, which actually has helped me. So like I actually understand how my body works and stuff, which it's quite beneficial. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I have my master's out of it. So once I'm done running, at least I have that to go back to.
Okay, lovely. And how is that having to balance your training with your studies?
Yeah, so I had to do that a lot in fourth year in my final year of my undergrad, and it was okay because I moved to a new training group out in Tala with Daniel Kilgallen, and so we trained at like 7 p.m. on a Tuesday and Thursday, and then we gymmed on Monday and Friday, like in our own time. So, and because I was a sports scholar, I could gym like in between my lectures. Very handy. So I could just pop to the sports center and go back to a lecture after. And then training at 7 was great because I could get my whole 9 to 5 in college and then drive up to Tala. So it wasn't too bad to balance. And I found that like the more I had on and the more like I had to schedule like my assignments, my studying, the actual easier it was to get it done. Because like I was in that kind of routine. So it made more sense, like instead of having days where it's like 9 to 5 and then other days where it's like 1 hour, it's really hard to schedule that. It's easier when it's like more evenly spread out. So you get into like a really good routine.
Okay, that's great. And now you are an Olympic prospect. How is the qualification journey going at the moment?
So currently I'm just trying to get back over to the States to train with my coach over there because she's a hurdle specialist. So I really need to get my hurdles, like improve my technique needs to get a little bit better. So just at the moment is just like trying to get over there and everything, and then just like keep training away and stuff. And next year is really the big year of where I need to run fast and get the standard.
Okay. So most of your training actually takes place in the States, correct?
Currently, yeah, this year. So I went over in January. So, and then had to come home for visa stuff because you know how you have to do the interview in the US Embassy in Dublin. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. And how did you find out about your coach in the States?
Actually, my coach here, Daniel, he actually got me in contact with the coach out in Austin, Texas. So
okay. And would you say that there's a big difference between the, I want to say, sports culture in Ireland compared to the States, or not really?
yeah, like there's a lot more like pro athletes in the States where like they literally just train. That is their life. And that's what I'm trying to do. But here, because like everyone's like self-funded a lot of the time. So like you have to work a 9 to 5 and then you have to go training. So like it's very much like it's not your main thing, if that makes sense. So like you're always going to be splitting yourself between like work and training or college and training. Like yes, you do college and training in the States, but like it's so intense, like training. Like you just see all these athletes like training in the States and they're like all day. It's all day, every day.
Okay. And that's what you're heading towards now as well. So.
Yeah. But I really like how like the group is set up where I get like 2 days rest. Nearly 3 days rest. It's like a really light day on one of them, so it's fine. So it's really nice to have that balance as well, so you get your own kind of like time away from sport just to recenter and calm down a little bit.
Okay. And in terms of qualifying for the Olympics, how many competitions are left? And yeah, so when will you be able to find out whether or not you did qualify?
So you qualify after nationals this year and before nationals next year. So you have like a year kind of, so you can use like your ranking points to qualify as well. So like if you're on really, really fast times indoors, these 2 of the 5 points to get your average of your ranking points can be counted towards qualification. Or if you want to just do it based on times, you just have to run the standard, which I'm currently don't remember what it is because I'm trying to like not just focus on times and just like run, which I think is more beneficial for me to like not just focus on like, okay, I have to run this time today, versus like just enjoy the race, enjoy racing, enjoy the whole like day of it, and like get what you want out of your race instead of just being like, okay, if I don't run this time, I'm going to feel terrible. But that can't be like that. You have to enjoy everything and you have to take a positive from each race as well.
Okay, that's actually cool that you say that, because I think also in that sense you're also enjoying it more. It's less stressful, but then you also know you can also still push yourself to just better yourself and not focus so much on just comparing too much to what other athletes might be getting, which is really cool. And obviously I think Olympics is like dream come true for any athlete, but what would it mean for you?
Yeah, it would be a dream come true for me as well. Like it's what I'm trying to get to, so like all my hard work then would be worth it. Like it's still worth it anyway, but it would just like be more.
So you are part of DSD, the club, and do you know how long it took to build the track, and how does it feel to be a part of the club that has a new outdoor track now?
So building the track, I think it was like a year. I was kind of out of like that side of things, but I know it took a while for them to get like permission and like everything from that, and they had the site for a good few years, I'm pretty sure. And then sorry, what was the other question?
Just your thoughts on the new track. Is it exciting, or how do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's a really nice track. I've done some training sessions up there, which is nice to be able to use it. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really good track for racing. And I know varsities were held there, and everyone I talked to that race there, I think they enjoyed the track and they're saying it's fast. So we're hoping that at DSD Games is going to be fast track, hopefully a good few PBs across athletes, and like even like athletes that are going for standards, that hopefully they can run some there, and there'll be some ranking points. I think it's currently an F category, so it's kind of lower on the ranking points, but it's a brand new meet, which is really, really good for the club and just like Dublin in general to have a meet in the city. That's not nationals. So
Okay.
I think it's going to be great. And we're kind of treating it like where the athletes are the VIP. So we're going to just make a whole experience so people really enjoy the race day, which I think is great, because I like days where I'm actually enjoying racing and don't want to get the hell out of there. And so I'll be hanging around there for a while.
Okay. And how did you feel when you were asked to be an ambassador for the event?
I was really happy when Avril asked me. I've been in the club since I started athletics, so it's really nice to just kind of give back and help promote this for them as well.
Okay, and you will be participating as well, correct?
Yes, unless my visa comes through and I have to leave like in a week, but I'm going to enter the hurdles and the 200, and then I will decide close in time whenever I'm ready for it, because it'd be my opener. So.
Okay. And again, going back to the events that you usually run, do you favor any of them? It's a bit of a weird question, but do you maybe have like a favorite event, or you just enjoy it in general, all of them?
So my favorite is hurdles. It's my main one. So, and then after that, I nearly have to say the 200. I find the 100 just kind of daunting, because it's kind of weird looking down the 100 straight without the hurdles.
Interesting. Okay.
It's just empty. It's so weird to me.
Okay. And what would you say motivates you as an athlete? I can imagine, especially if you're doing it full time, it takes a lot out of you in terms of your training, your dedication and everything. So what would you say motivates you?
God, that's kind of a hard question, because I think I just love the sport so much now that I couldn't see myself ever not doing it until I'm retired. But for the moment, I think, yeah, I just love training as well, and I really enjoy it. So that keeps me going and keeps me in the sport and being competitive in the sport.
Okay. And what do you think has been the biggest challenge for you as an athlete, if you've had any?
To be honest, I'd say moving to the States, it's a big change. Moving away from home, it's just like a big change in life in general. So, and definitely a culture change.
Culture shock, yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, like the States is so different.
Yeah. Also I'm from South Africa originally, and even moving to Ireland, it's definitely been a bit of a culture shock. But it's been good so far. So Her Sport, we aim to empower women through sports. And when you look back on your life and the person that you are today, what would you say sports has done for you? How has it helped to shape you into the woman that you are today?
God, I think because I was always involved in sport, it's kind of hard to pinpoint that. Well, I've made a lot of friends through sport as well. Like most of my friends are actually athletes now as well, because I've kind of dedicated this part of my life to it. So, God, that's really hard to answer. I think I am who I am today because I did so much sport, and because I just kept doing it, and like I'm just really a competitive person anyway. So I think I need it to be in sport.
Yeah,
It's like mandatory for my life that I had to do some sport.
Okay, no, that's great. Thanks for sharing. And your thoughts on being a female athlete, like what would you say your experience has been like? I think a big thing that female athletes representation in mainstream media has not been in favor of female athletes for so long. And I think now it's only now really that we're starting to see a shift in that. So what are your thoughts on female athletes representation in the media?
Yeah, I think they should be represented more, and it is good to see like Irish female athletes being like pushed on media more. Like even the hockey team from like you see a lot more of them now and everything. And like, do you know, in a way, I'm lucky that my sport's individual, so it's kind of like everyone's together, so everything has to be represented, like everyone's equal, which is really nice. And I've just like going through the sport, like I've experienced that like everyone's the same. It's great.
Okay.
So it's kind of different in athletics to talk about that. Like I really want to see more female sport on media, and just like even if matches are on, like can we please just get like some more promotion, so then it'll just like pop up on like even Instagram newsfeed or whatever, just to be like, okay, this match is on now, like go stick it on like RTE2, whatever, you know. It'd be great to see that.
Okay. And if you could give words of advice or encouragement to women and girls, what would you say?
I would say just stick with your sport, and even if you're having like kind of a low season or you're not enjoying it as much, just like find something in it that you enjoy, or switch sports, because you might be suited to something better and you might enjoy it more. You don't have to be like highly competitive in it, but like once you enjoy it and you keep it up and like keep up sport through college, it makes a difference. I think if I wasn't in Trinity with the athletics club there, I don't know if I'd be still running, because that club is just so social that they made it really enjoyable just to be at training and just to be around everything and like keep competing, because it was such a atmosphere, even between like the Harriers and the like track athletes. It was great.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you again for the next episode. Be sure to subscribe to Her Sports social platforms to get the latest women in sports content.